Come on in, everyone. I'm super excited. Today is Friday, May 15th. I'm so excited. We are going to have a special talk show tonight. We have an amazing guest that will be brought right in a few minutes here. I need you all to do me a huge favor. We're a little late getting started due to some technical difficulties, but we worked through them. So glad to see all of you on tonight. Do us a huge favor. If you could please, of course, like, comment, and share. We need as many as possible to be on with us tonight. It's Friday, time for our Friday prayer and chat. We have an amazing guest with us tonight. We're going to have so much fun. We're going to share so much information. We're going to talk about so many great things. We're going to talk about Mother's Day that has just happened last weekend. We're going to talk about Joe Louis Greenway in the city of Highland Park and beyond. We talk about Mental Health Awareness Month. As month, we put focus around mental health. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Community Cleanup and Beautification Day that's up and coming. So many great things that's happening in the beautiful city of Highland Park, Michigan. I need y'all to come on in. I need for you all to like, comment, share tonight. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Let everyone know right under Soul Harvest Ministries tag. We are so excited, so grateful, so elated to have our special guest tonight. We bringing her on in just a few seconds here, but I need you all to help us get the numbers up. I apologize for the delay, but we are here. It's a Friday. Somebody put in the chat, we are here. And we are so grateful. We are so honored. We are so blessed. It's going to be an amazing night, one like you have never experienced before. I'm grateful that God has brought us through. We are mid-month, right? Smack dab in the middle of May. We are moving fast. This year is moving. And so God is asking, it's on his heart for us to catch up with time because it's moving. And the Bible tells us to maximize every moment, to take heed to the time, and to make sure that we work while it is day, because night cometh and no man can work. And this is what we're doing today. We are working. We stay true to our assignment. We stay true to our Friday nights. I'm so grateful. We're 6 years in. 6 years, going on 7 years doing the Friday prayer and chat. We were birthed through the pandemic or out of the pandemic. And so y'all know this story, but I just get so excited, so emotional. It's an exhilarating feeling just thinking about how God has kept us over these 6 years and how he's doing great things in our lives. The big is manifesting as we speak. And God is just allowing better days to come for us. Come on in, everyone. I'm so excited. I'm asking you to like, comment, please share it tonight. We need as many as possible to be with us to hear from this amazing, outstanding, beautiful councilwoman. I'm so grateful that she has agreed to be with us tonight. She has a very busy schedule. She's doing so much in the community and within her family. She is wanted everywhere in high demand. And so I am so grateful that she has agreed to be with us tonight. I need for y'all to put some claps in the chat. I need for you all to go crazy. I need fire in the chat as we welcome none other than Councilwoman Tamika Manica from the city of Highland Park is with us tonight. So happy to
Yes,
have you
hello.
with us.
Yes,
So happy
hello.
to have
How
you
are
with us.
you?
I am wonderful. I apologize for the technical
No
difficulties, but
problem.
we are here and we are live and in color. And I'm so grateful that we can finally come together. We've been planning this, talking about this, and it is happening tonight, May 15th. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored to have you with us tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am honored to be here. Again, like you said, it's very exciting. It's kind of one of my first podcasts. I think I've been on different kind of interviews, but
I
or
love it.
radio, but never a podcast. So it's a little different. So,
I
but
love it.
I appreciate it.
I
I've
love
been excited
it.
ever since Sunday. Actually, been excited
Yes.
about coming on here and talking with you, and I have fun talking with you anyway, Pastor.
We have so much fun. I love it. Even Sunday, every time like we're in a meeting or some type of whatever it is that's going on, and when you're with us, like you have us laughing. I love that you can be serious, you take care of business, you are concerned, you are involved, you are present, and you bring life, light, and laughter. I love it. And
Thank you.
like Sunday. I'm like, I forgot how funny she can be. Like,
Lord have mercy.
oh,
I
I
said
love it.
I just talking to people, and so I do
Yes,
it a lot. A lot of my friends, we go places and they say there she goes, and so but it's just about communicating with people and
yes.
getting understanding and just having fun, because if we don't, life is moving on without us. Absolutely,
Come
life is
on.
moving on without us, so we have to continue what they say: live, learn, and laugh.
Yes, yes. And I love that about you. It's always an exciting time wherever we are. If it's a city council meeting, if it's at a celebration, a Highland Park, something is going on in Highland Park,
Block club.
wherever we are, you are going to bring some joy. And I'm so excited about that and so grateful for that. We were together Sunday and
Yes.
an important day. It's
Yes.
Mother's Day. And we can start, we're just talking about Mother's Day. We have so much to talk about tonight. We can just take our time, enjoy ourselves,
Okay.
enjoy the
Yes.
people, connect with the people tonight. But
Okay.
last weekend was Mother's Day, and I wanted to talk about that because I know you're a mother, I'm a mother. Your mother is such a blessing. I love her
Thank you.
so much. You
She's
know
funny
that.
too, isn't she?
She is. That's where I think you get the humor from a little bit. She is funny. I'm like,
Yeah.
mother, do what you want to do. Do you, mother? At one of our events. And she like, okay. I love it. She was like, look, you're gonna make me feel important and put me on the showcase. I'm gonna take it. And I love
And
that about her.
yes.
She is just a leader in her own right, even at the stage and space that she's in right now. We love her so much. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because a lot of times mothers are overlooked. Sometimes we don't
Mhm.
understand, the things that we have to go through, even at our age, with with mothers and those that are may not have had a mother, had a child physically, but they still mother individuals. So just wanted to talk about that, just to reflect on how you're feeling about, being a mother,
Oh my
your
gosh.
joys and things that you are, handling right now with your own
Okay.
beautiful mother. Yeah, just
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for all of that. She is my beautiful mom. She is,
she
and
is.
she keeps me busy and on my toes. I tell you that much. For as long as I can remember. And when we think about mothers, again, we mentioned this and we talked about mothers are your biological mothers. Mothers could be your just a physical mom, someone you met, and mothers in the church,
Yes.
and that goes a long way. So people consider, you never know. And I always tell adults, children will decide. You don't have to tell them to call a person mother. Normally it will just transform, and next thing you know, they're like, hey mom, or that's my mother, or my godmother, etc. But what we do not do, and what we've lost, is that sitting down with mothers or elders. And so, going into that, we used to sit down with our parents. We
Yes.
sit down, and when we were told to leave, now you had to leave. You couldn't sit in there with the adults.
With the
But for the
adults.
most part, we sit on that porch, and we listen, and you get your hair combed, and in by grandma or mom, and everybody took a turn. Okay, now it's your turn. Well, those little things that we don't, we now we go to the hair salon. That's fine, but
Right.
those were the times that we had to learn things and to remember. And I think we've gotten away from it. And so we need to start to bring that back. And when I was there at church with you and you guys saluted the mothers in the audience, and even people who did not have children were saluted as mothers,
Yeah.
because maybe they mothered someone in the church, in a way that a mother would do. And we take that for granted sometimes. Yes, we may not always agree, we may disagree, but what happens is I remember my mom saying it was a circle of life. Once a baby, I'm sorry, is it two times a baby, once an adult, some kind of way in there.
Yeah, my son remind me of that all the time.
You don't think about it though. You're like, okay, whatever.
Right.
And they're gonna be here forever. And she just talking, okay. But sometimes that does happen, and
Yes.
I know that that's been a big thing now in medical, like people having Alzheimer's and dementia, or just getting in that stage. I am glad that dementia is one of those items that they think they may come up with a cure for. But in the meantime, we need to start preparing not just our moms, but our parents, period. We need to start preparing ourselves for that. And our moms tend to be the matriarch. Where do you think they got that big mama from? You know,
Yes.
they run the family. They keep those rules in order. They keep reminding people of how things should go and morals, and we forget that, Pastor. And then when it happens, we're looking like, oh my God, like, okay, what I supposed to do now?
Right.
And that's when we have to make real tough decisions, with our parents. And is do our parents stay at home with us? Do we put them in a home? Do they have to go into a home? Sometimes it's not we want to, sometimes it's a have to. But,
Yeah.
you know, all those things and how they get affected. And I know nowadays, um, a lot of people or a lot of medical say, no, it's best for them to be at home. And I've seen those things happen when people when they're not ready to go from the home to a different place. So we have to start learning and teaching and having workshops about things like dementia or Alzheimer's. And I will say that is one of the things that in our community right now, Pastor Brenda, that our senior coordinator in our
Yes.
senior program in Highland Park has been doing. I've gotten resources myself where when I go and go to the senior events just to check them out and support, and you'd be surprised what resources are out there for them. And you'd be surprised. They had a dementia and Alzheimer workshop. And so there's different levels, there's different levels of that. But this is the time that we need to also teach our young people, no matter what, you know, go see grandma. Even if you
Mhm.
stop by for 5 minutes, even if you just call them for 5 minutes, those mothers, the seniors, they love that. They because there's no one really talking to them at this age unless you live with them. And we've gotten so away. Technology has pushed us so far out that most people are not in the area of their mother or their godmother or just in their family. So we need to definitely rethink and regroup and loving on our mothers,
Wow.
and because they brought us here. That's the first thing, right? They could have said no, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and right now, and we're fighting to make
Mhm.
sure we still can say yes or no. But they could have said no and they didn't. So you're here. Regardless to any circumstances, you're here. And so we need to start, I think, really honoring whether maybe your mom's not here, but I'm sure there's someone else you can just take a flower to, you know.
Yes.
I don't want to take up that whole conversation about moms, but
No, I
I have
love it. I love it.
I have a sorority sister. So I had this thing about cards. I would give cards, right? And
Mhm.
then I said, well, nobody's keeping their cards. At least that's what I thought. I was like, the grandkids, the kids, they say, okay, yeah, that's a card, but where the toy? And so I
Where
said,
the
well,
money?
I'm gonna stop taking the cards. But I found out from an older lady, she is like 90 something. And I
Wow.
went to visit her and we had brunch with her. And she pulled out her box of cards and she explained to me
Wow.
that when she's by herself or just want to just
Mhm.
open them up, she just sat in her chair with her lemonade. She looks through them, and when she rereads them, it brings her memories back of people, places, and things and gives her joy. And from that day forward, I said, you know what? I guess I'm gonna go back to the cards, because I didn't think of it that way.
Mhm.
But she has a big old, how back then women had their hats. So anyway, so just
Yeah.
giving those suggestions, a little card, even if it's not on a special occasion, for that older person that they can go back and open it up and read it and look, maybe even see a picture. She just gave me a different
Yeah.
thought on the card perspective, and I said, okay, I learned
Mhm.
something. So we can continue to learn too, from them.
Yes. Yes. So many good words. You made me think about so many great like feelings that I had as a young person when you mentioned sitting out on the porch, just being outside with
Mhm.
family. I know I grew up in my grandparents' home and just being it just felt so good. Like we would just be at home, we would play Uno, just
Yes.
making that
Mhm.
family space and time like it meant so much to me. And when I never really thought about it. It hadn't came to mind until you just stated that. And I would encourage families to bring those simple life basic
Mhm.
things back. We don't understand, like I never expressed it growing up, but I know I enjoyed being, and like you stated, but when it was time for the adult time or those conversations and time for us to go to bed, we hated that. We wanted to stay among our parents or grandparents because it was family, and we don't understand how much that means. And as you stated, we've brought in technology and we're utilizing cell phones and all types of devices to keep our young people company, to babysit them, to give them something to do. However, it would be great just to focus on that family time, table time, just being together even this summer while the children are out of school. I have my granddaughters with me, and I that is something that I am going to focus on. And a lot of times, the youth from the church, they're with me. And just and now you just was bringing so much back to me. They want to be around people that where love is displayed.
Thank you.
And our mothers do that, our grandmothers do that, whether they birth us or just spiritually or just loving on us.
Mhm.
And you brought so many good points that just made me rethink on, how to structure this summer and moving forward. So thank you for those amazing
Yes.
points and things we need to look for. And we don't understand. Like I have a grandfather who's 99 years old. In just a few months, he'll be
Wow.
100. He'll be 100 years old in a few
Yes.
months. And sometimes I know when he calls me like something like I need to get over there. And it's so funny because it brings life to him when his grandchildren come and visit him. It just gives them an extra boost, extra
Mhm.
shot of energy. And we just have to be reminded of that. Even the youth in our the seniors in our community, our pastors,
Yes.
leaders, just to stop by, give them a card, like you stated.
Mhm.
This is literally prolonging life for people, helping them with their memory. It's doing so
Yes.
much. So thank you for those words. That really encouraged me
No.
with regards to mothers, and I was so grateful to spend part of your Mother's Day with you
Yes, I enjoyed it.
last
You,
Sunday.
you
It was
and let me say this.
amazing.
Let me say this. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you hear me? We mentioned
Yes, I
we
think it's like a little bit of a buffer, but it's
Yeah.
coming back
We went
in.
to at church, so I enjoy church a great deal, and we talked about Bible study. So I want to say thank you again for the honor that you gave me and my Bible. I kind of bragged that I had a better Bible than the rest of them, but so That's the other part that we don't talk about and bring in. And we were talking about, you mentioned 90, he'll be 100. Yes,
Yes, 100. He'll
yes.
be 100.
I remember my daughter and I, we used to go and look after a couple of young ladies, and I always say young ladies, well, they were up in age. And one when she turned, I think 102 or to that, she
Wow.
was on the news and everything. But prior to that, I made my daughter go with me. And so
Yes.
we were talking about slips, and we were talking about slips and going to church and what happened. And the lady said to her, you know, wear a slip. And she like, a slip? What's a slip?
Right. Right.
And in that process, she was saying that it gives young men an imagination. Don't show everything. And she just like, okay, okay. But in the midst, she said, we go to church and we put our dinner on the back of the wagon, and then after church we ride
Mm.
down. They go down to about the tree or the lake or something, and you know eat dinner. So when we got in the car, it dawned. She say, "Mama, did she say the wagon?" And so I was like, yes, so you were listening. And so people that are
Right.
100 have seen the light bulb invented, they've seen
Come
cars
on.
invented, they've
TV,
seen everything. And that's what
telephone.
I was threatening the other day, if I'm getting this phone for my mom's house. And I was like, I can see it now.
Yes.
They're going to lose the cordless phone somewhere in the house, right? And I said, if they do, I'm going to get a rotary. But when I said an old school, my
Make it
my
even worse.
grandson said, "Are you talking about the one with the circles on it?" So again, they get to learn things, and so I just think that that is a wonderful, wonderful um, experience to share.
Yes. Yeah. So we thank God for our mothers. Thank God for all the mothers that were listening. We honor you. We salute you. And we just wanted to take some time to recognize you, all the hard work, all the pouring that you do into people, all of the sacrifices that you make. We just want to honor you and let you know that we see you and all the things that you're doing. And we thank God for you.
I'm sorry if you hear that
Let's
noise. That's my grandkids. Like,
No, you're good, but I love it. It's absolutely perfect. I love it. Showing how you are so involved with your family, your grandchildren, your mother, your siblings, like you are involved
yeah,
fully in family, not just the city, but your family and your friends. Like you're connected fully with everyone. And that's just a testament of that.
thank you,
And so we see that in you. That's what I love so much about you, that you are committed to not only the
thank you,
city, but family. You're an example of a strong woman in this season and in this space. So I thank God for you.
thank you.
So let's pivot right quick. We got some really good things happening in the city of Highland Park.
Yes,
Woo-hoo,
yes,
the
yes,
beautiful
yes.
city of Highland Park, Michigan. And one big thing that's coming, or actually it's in our city, but in our district. So you're over our district, District
Yes,
1, and our church is right in District 1, Soul Harvest Ministry / Christ Harvest Fellowship. We're right there. So you support us, you represent us, you're right there with us. But the Joe Louis Greenway is coming through the north
yes,
end, right in our district.
yes,
And just wanted to talk a little bit about that because we had a meeting last
yes.
month. We passed flyers out to the community, letting everyone know, like, they're coming in to meet with us, to talk to us, explain a lot of things to us. And many people did not know about the Greenway. So I wanted to just take some time to talk about it, enlighten our viewers
Okay.
and those that are watching, and to build the excitement around it.
Okay, well, it is very exciting. So, Joe
Yeah.
Louis Greenway, of course, is in honor of Joe Louis, and they're doing that by providing, I would say, equity, across the border. And so, and when I say border, I mean the city's borders. So this Greenway is linear, and it will allow for people to travel into other communities and bring those communities together. So those communities are Detroit, Hamtramck, Highland Park, Dearborn, Detroit. So it makes this huge circle, or at least goes, some places you hear it say might 6 mile, and I guess it is kind of almost a 6 mile. So you also gonna have links, and when I say links mean that there are other trails like the DeQuinder Cut, like the River Walk, that you will be able to connect with and ride your bike, skateboard. That's a long way though. You know that. I was like,
I
bless
know,
them
right?
people that can do that. 29, I believe
Yeah,
it's like 29 miles. But to have that to come through Highland Park says a lot about our city. So
come
I
on.
always say that, you know, we're the best kept secret. Yeah, and so
Yeah,
regardless of what people think, they come through here, they stop here, and they're really going to be able to stop here now with the Greenway. Greenway is a beautiful, if you haven't seen it in some areas, new addition to many cities, to help. It's going to bring economic um, possibilities. It's going to bring equity. It's going to bring arts, recreation, peace. If you use it correctly, you will get peace from it. And some of us have a blessing to be along that greenway. You might not be exactly on it, but you're pretty close to it. And in your community, or the area where the church is very special because you are right there, and so you're going to have a lot of benefits to that. So we are asking, and they did this in a number of the communities. Hey, what would you like to see along that area? And so those are the things that's happening for you right now, that you're going to get a lot of the Greenway organization coming in. We're asking you as well. We're all partnership and working together to make this a beautiful thing that's happening in the city of Highland Park. What else can I say about? Thank you. Yes. What else can I?
well, one thing is it's a significant landmark because it's going over Woodward, that the bridge, the railing over the bridge. So that's exciting. I cannot express how excited I am about that. A
And the
major
sign is up
national
there.
attraction because of that. Yeah, and the sign, and it looks so beautiful. And so it's a signature piece. That is the signature piece out of the entire state of Michigan. That piece right there. And just to come through our district,
Yes. Yes.
Councilwoman Manica, to
We
come
got,
through our district
yes.
is absolutely phenomenal.
It is. It's just transforming. Again, we say how where things are going. So we got to look at that, and how things are placemaking is kind of what you would call it. And the placemaking is where you allow the community to have a space that they can sit
Yeah.
in and do different activities and actually meet other people. And learn about other cultures and just have a conversation. And so there's a lot going on in there. You're going to have vendors that will be able to do pop up along those along the greenway. Some will be permanent places, and so that's bringing economics to those individuals as well as to the city. It's also bringing equity to the land, not just in our city, but throughout those cities that it's going through. Uh, and so it's just a real good piece there. And Highland Park in itself has its own history with cars. You know, we don't hear about it much, but we truly are the person that started cars, I think.
Come on. Yes, yes, yes. So a lot of good things coming. And it's happening this year, 2026. That's the
Yes,
amazing
yes.
thing, that we can look forward to seeing this development, and much of it being completed this year.
Yes, it
So
will be.
looking forward to
It
that.
will.
And
It
yes.
will also create other development. So along
Hmm.
this greenway, not just along the greenway, but in the city as itself, you were saying good things that are happening. It things will happen. The greenway didn't happen overnight, and clearly it's taken a little while, because actually we did a big ceremony with the greenway last year, and now
Hmm.
you finally can see those remnants of what's happening
Yes.
throughout the city. So again, you're getting development throughout the city. More people want to come in, and then that means they're going to spend money here, they're going to invest here, and I hope live
Mhm.
here. So you're going to get housing as well. So we have those things, and a lot of partnerships we're partnering with a
Mm-hmm.
lot of organizations, as well as partnering with our churches. And that's a big thing. And you are part of that. So this summer, I know I might jump, maybe I'm too fast, but this
No.
summer, partnering with several churches in the city to provide spaces for children to come from as far as
Yes.
early as 8, I believe, in the morning to as late as 8 at
Yes.
night. And so nobody has
Yes.
the same exact time. A few might have, but there's enough going on that you I can send them to I always want to say Soul Harvest.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I want
it's
to
you're
I want to
right.
send them there, and then okay, what time you stop? Okay, let me send them over to New Grace, or let me send them down to
Yes.
Pastor Franklin uh, Church, or over to
Yes.
Revival Tabernacle. So we have a lot of places, and a lot of churches, and maybe
Mhm.
Pastor Brenda, you can name them sometime or later, or on our next podcast, we can give the
Yes.
exact resources or places that they can find it. And I know right now they can find it on Facebook as well. But
Hmm.
those are good things that's happening in our city. Um,
Yep.
so we're looking forward to those things.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you so much. Yes, and I thank you for working so diligently with the North Point Black Club, with our district, with the entire city, working to continue that our city is safe for our children. So thank you, making sure that the pastors partner with leadership. So thank you so much, and I'm so grateful that that idea came up and we're all working together to ensure that our children are safe and that there's no idle time. We've been working on transportation, all of that. So thank you. So yes, we will talk about that in depth on our next meeting together. So I love that. Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
So yeah, so let's talk about so the month of May. We focus on mental health awareness.
Yes.
And just want to talk about that a little bit because I know that in your profession, even with the city, with your family, you are connected with ensuring individuals' mental health is cared for. And so I do want to talk about that because so much is going on across the nation and our world, and many are suffering from anxiety,
Oh wow.
depression,
Yes.
stress. And so I did want to encourage the people tonight, give them some pointers, let them know what we're seeing, some things that they can do to help as we focus on mental health this month.
Well, mental health. First and foremost, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of mental health. Don't be afraid to have a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist or just an integrated. So now you find organizations or hospitals like Henry Ford who have integrated medicine. And what that means is you meet an internal medicine doctor, and they, instead of just always saying, hey, you need a pill, they have the integrated mental health into the piece. And so you may get a psychologist or I don't want to say psychiatrist, but a therapist that comes in and helps you talk about it and see maybe it's not that they really need some medicine. Because believe it or not, your stress levels can cause pain in your body. Your stress level can
Yes.
cause your body to do things that make it seem like you're sick. And it
Yes.
sometimes you just need to talk about it. You just need to get it off your chest. And usually your therapist is a person that is neutral, and you don't have to worry about when I go home they're gonna go tell Uncle Joe and cousin Susie, you know what I mean? And so that's what we,
Yes.
or they're not gonna say, oh, I'm crazy, because that's what
Yes.
we are, especially in the African American um, community in urban areas. The first thing we don't want to do is we don't want to go because, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm crazy. But if you really
Mhm.
knew how many people have a therapist or somebody you can talk to, and sometimes when you have that super good friend, they're actually a
Mhm.
therapist. They're actually a therapist, you know. But I want to think places like DWIN, and that is Detroit Way
Mm.
Integrated Health Network. They're pretty much the governing body for mental health. If you go on their website, you would be able to find other resources. You can find uh, different uh, different areas, like teen wellness is under them. They also have, and so that's for younger people, but then it begins to be an older scenario, and they have different levels in different locations. They just opened one in Detroit, which is your which is a crisis center. And so our city, yes, our city, Highland Park, yes, has
Yes.
had the opportunity to incorporate that into our police department. And so our police department has right now we call everybody a social worker. So we call everybody a social worker. Well, I don't mind it being our social, but we have a crisis intervention specialist. We have a young lady who's a
Mhm.
mental health. She's Let me get the right title. I wanted to write it down. Mental health clinician, and she has been wonderful.
Okay.
It took us a minute to get it, and yes, uh, council approved it. And so, because what we don't know is how many issues the police and fire sometimes come across
Yes.
in the city. They
Yeah.
just not telling you about it, and they not supposed to. They don't have to, but they know some people that are really nice people, but do have mental health issues, and they had to learn how to
Mhm.
deal with them. And I've personally seen them handle different crises, young and old, and then actually work with some that have was young and then now are considered your young adults. They might have started out as teenagers. So I've personally experienced that. I've actually went on some of their training, which was quite interesting. Watching them
Yes.
and so I thank them, and it's a pleasure. So those are kind of things I do as well, is see what we're saying okay to, and see how it
Mhm.
works in the city, and it has. As well as we also work with autism, and they
Mhm.
did had a wonderful uh I don't want they had a autism walk about a couple of weeks ago, and they have these bags. So I want to say thank you with this opportunity, actually, to our police department, that we get such a bad rap. But there was a young lady, they got a call for a young little girl who had got out of her house and was kind of didn't have all her complete clothing on. And so they are equipped with a kit that provides them the opportunity to help children with autism, in this case blanket or clothes, until the parents was located, and then all the things were done correctly. And no one thanked them, and I know it was on Facebook. Yeah.
Wow.
And so those are some of the things we're doing in the city. But before we change over, I know, to a different topic, that crisis number,
Mhm.
can I give that? Is that okay?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
1-800-241-4949. And of course, their website is, of course, www.dwihn.org. And if they go on there, there is so much help. And even with grief, so we have to remember the things that cause. Right now, you mentioned the world. Believe it or not, you don't know whose child is in Africa because the president sent them there.
Wow.
We're over in these other countries. Um, and so that provides stress on families. Stress, especially if that person was the head of the household and you were taking care of all the bills, and now you were sent away. And
Yes.
you're thinking whether or not he's going to come back or she's going to come back. Economically, gas I looked at today was how much. And you
Yeah.
say, how does gas affect people? Oh, that don't. Yes, it does. Because will I
Mhm.
have to stop driving my car and ride a bike,
Come on.
increasing my time to go to work? What if I don't know how to ride a bike?
Right.
Right? That sounds crazy, but oh, by the way, I gotta buy a bike.
Yes.
So, how am I gonna provide money? And then how do I get groceries home? And all that sounds crazy, but indeed, and we could just have a topic for one show about that in itself.
Right.
Just everything affects everyone differently, and we got to understand that. So we need to start providing ourselves with tools to be able to talk to one another, to
Yeah.
de-escalate until the police arrive if that's needed, but just to be able to understand. wait a minute, how did that person get there, and maybe taking a step back. So I think we also should start having workshops on how to communicate and how to
Yeah.
de-escalate those situations, and then where to send them. What's our
Mhm.
resources out there?
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. I love that information that you gave. And I do that. I would love for us to do something in addition around mental health. I was reading or started reading a book called The Body Takes Score. The Body Takes Score. And it talks about like over the years, so many things, like you stated, they build up. It's traumatizing to the body, and we don't realize that it causes all types of illnesses. It causes heart problems, high
Big
blood
time.
pressure, all types of issues. And he gives some steps or recommendations in the book. Talks about meditation, talks about a therapist, talks about just us
Breathing.
giving, yes, breathing techniques, and talking about, it speaks about us being present for one another. And I think that's something that we can do better. What do you think about that? Just like for us, we talked about even the mothers, the seniors, being present for them. How do you think, how do you think we're doing as a population, being present for one another, like really understanding what someone is going through and really being there for them as they're going through whatever situation? It could be the gas, it could be groceries, it could be grief, it
Yes.
could be, you know, a new job, a loss of job,
Oh,
it could be a change of season, change of time, you know,
so
all of these things. The
yes,
body is keeping score every time we are hit with something. It
yes.
keeps score, and it trades all of those points in for illnesses or for a breakdown or for depression, anxiety. So how do you feel, just to get your point on, how do you feel we're doing with just helping, you know, our brother or sister or friend get through some of these hard issues? Or it may not even be a hard one, but it may be a blow to the body or to the mind or to the heart.
Woo. Hmm. That's a good one. Because I'm out here fighting the pollen right now. No, I'm just kidding.
See,
So,
I love it.
you
See,
know,
I love it. You always
I,
see it make us laugh for sure.
you know what? We stay so tense, and
Hmm.
our shoulders be up here, and
Hmm.
so we don't understand the pivot. And then when I say pivot, you're gonna hear me say that a lot this
I
evening,
love
probably.
it.
Pivoting, and you pivot with a life change without you
Hmm.
knowing it sometime, and that's usually what happens to us. And so we're not present. And not that I don't like technology, because technology also allows us to see one another when we do live far away or talk, etc.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's taking up that space where we are present to understand what's happening to
Hmm.
Uncle Joe. You know, I
Yes.
remember the stories, like he would sit there and he want to have a drink, and then somebody else might help him, and then you like, now you know he can't, but so let's just listen to him for a little while. I don't know who he talking about, but I'm gonna listen to him. And so you miss that. So I watch young people. When I say young people, I mean
Mm.
anybody younger than me. I
Right.
watch them and
Yes.
see how they respond to even my mother or young. So I have a couple of young people that I'd be like, you've been around some old people, because they just be kicking it with them and they be having a ball. Whereas we might be so challenged with all the things we have to do to take care of them, we can't be that fun with them, exactly, because we're
Mm.
a little tired. And so we
Yeah.
don't know what each person in our community and our family are going through. And because we're so busy moving about our life and trying to make things happen, mostly we're always trying to make the money happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to start realizing, yeah, we can make the money happen, but along with the money, we need to have family, or at least
Mm.
um, that network, that what I want to say, your your peer group that can help you. Now you can't have any peer group now. Come on, you can't have any peer group.
Exactly.
You got to pick. You got to pick and choose.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and figure out, is this the right peer group? Wait a minute, hold on. And guess what? Your peer group don't have to be the same age as you. You know, it you
Mm,
have to involve the children, and so I try to do that a little bit, even when they don't want to. I get the
right.
grandkids, and then my kids, they're like, "Mom, like, be quiet. Just come on. Just give me 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes, and
Mhm.
believe what you can accomplish in them 2 minutes." And sometimes it's just saying, "Take a deep breath," because
Yeah.
young people, for whatever reason, are really suffering more than we realize because they're looking at what's happening to their parents. They're looking
Mm.
at what's happening to their siblings or their other
Mhm.
family members, and we're experiencing, or they're experiencing, death a whole
Mm.
lot more than we do. They go to school and find out somebody committed suicide. They
Yes.
go home and find out somebody on their block been murdered, or they go home and they've lost somebody due to an illness, and we don't realize that, because we've stopped communicating socially. We try to do it through Facebook. We try to do it through the internet. So I feel like, to answer your question, I guess we do try, but we're not doing it the old school way. We're
Yeah.
thinking, because you see me on Facebook, that makes me all right, but it doesn't.
Mhm.
And so, even if that person is really not thinking about suicide or anything, you see something that looks crazy, just call them. You don't even have to tell them why you called.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the part we need
Good.
to do more, is just calling and maybe asking, or I just drive by, hey, and even right now, because my mom might not remember everybody sometimes. Like, who is that? I said, I don't know, but they wave, so I wave. So we just gonna wave, They think we're from the South anyway.
Right.
So yeah, I think we're not doing it, but we do it, but we could do better. We talk about it, and we use it as these big words, and so you hear a lot of people talk about mental health, pastor,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
do we really go and take the time to find out, and do we encourage others to have those therapists and not call them crazy?
Yeah.
Last thing I'm gonna say on that is, words make a difference. For
Mm.
example, Michael Jackson. Remember his song "I'm Bad"? Well, bad means a whole lot of things. So that goes for the word crazy too. I
Mm.
can say to you, "Oh, girl, you crazy," and you be all right. But somebody else who's having different experiences will take that
Maybe a
crazy
trigger.
word
Mhm.
differently. So we also have to think about our word choice.
Yes, I love it. Absolutely love it. Yes. And that's something I definitely would like to do something more on in the future because I think we have huge opportunity there, just as you're explaining. So, yes, I love it. Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the beautification day that's coming, or weekend coming up next weekend. Let's talk
I love
about
it.
that. What next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, May
Yes.
22nd, 23rd, and
Mhm.
24th. Why is that important to you? I want to talk about why that is so important to you. I know we love it as the Black Club is District 1, North End. It brings everyone out. We're working together to clean up. We're loving on one another, meeting new people, fellowshipping, and just beautifying and cleaning up the neighborhood. But why is it important to you? I wanted to bring that up because you have been so faithful and committed to ensuring that we have that every year.
Pastor, I think you just gave it all. I think
I'm
you just
sorry.
listed it all. No. One, because it's important. What you
Yes.
see is how you feel. What you
Mm,
see is how you feel about the community, how you feel about where you live. And we talked about mental health, but when we get sun, you know how much sun we need to feel good? We need a lot. And that's
yes.
actually part of mental health is too. So it's important to me because I also hear the community always, and other people saying, oh, it looks this way or that way. Well, when we present better, when we present how we feel about our community, then others will think of it the same way that we do.
Mm,
I'll think twice before I throw that paper out there, because wait a minute, I don't see no paper out there on the ground.
come
Or,
on.
or I don't see. Oh, you know what? They all cut their grass. I might need to cut my grass. And now everybody, along with the fact that your city has ordinance on grass level and things like that, but when you're in a urban city sometime that has a income level that's not as other places, or not as high as other places, we lack some resources. So that's where we have to come together as a community to help one another. So in those days when I created, so the city has a city cleanup day, but I kind of added two more. And
Mm-hmm.
so I give one in the spring and one in the fall. So you also get a chance to get rid of that stuff. I don't have to see you put it out on your sidewalk and then decide if the trash people or the garbage company is going to take it. You just have to get it to wherever the dumpsters are. Unfortunately, we can't provide dumpsters on every single street, so I try to make sure that they're in places that they're navigated. Now this year, because we are working on our infrastructure in Highland Park, yes, yes. And so it may be a little bit difficult, and maybe a little bit of changes. It might have to happen more than once because of the construction and where we normally put those dumpsters. And so those dumpsters will be located from one end from Tennyson to 6 Mile. And when I say that, they're still going to be positioned. So it's not on every street, but that is my important. And I remember as a kid, yes, I hear that all the time. And I tell them, we can't go back to 1980. I can't go back to 1960. But if I want my community to look like what I drive out to and talk about, then I have to do it here. And I have to be able to help you to do it here. And that means however I could do it. And it also brings us out. I remember block clubs with, they don't do this too much anymore, but remember them white curves, and then they put that white paint on the bottom of the tree.
Yes, we actually want to do that.
I've
Yes.
seen I've seen so many different things. So I've been here a long time. I'm 5 generations into this city. And
Wow.
so I remember when everybody decided to get the white globe. And
Mm-hmm.
then everybody decided on some streets to get a white picket fence. I was like, now what we gonna do with that? Now how long? I'm gonna be honest. Like, what are we gonna do with that white picket fence? But they did, and so I don't see too many of them anymore, but I do see the white globe still. And actually, people have been talking
Yeah.
about that again. Maybe
Yeah.
getting that and moving us into the future is
Yeah.
being solar. Back then, it was no
Yes.
solar. Was no
Yeah.
solar. So those, I hope I answered that question, is why I want to see it,
Did.
because I know what Highland Park used to look like now, and can look like in the future.
I
That is why
love
I
it.
do it. And if any way that I can help that happen, that's what's going to happen. Uh, Along with that, if I could throw that in real quick, the efforts to have more garbage cans throughout our city. You will know them when you
Mhm.
see them because they're going to be blue. Okay. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I love it. Thank you for that, Councilwoman Manica. So we're looking forward to that next weekend, and doing even having it even better than last year and the years previous. So looking forward to everybody coming out, working together, and so thank you so much for being committed to that.
Yeah.
We're very
Thank the
grateful.
organizations too. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, it's okay.
That are willing to come out and help.
Mhm.
To do that cleanup. So you got some
Yes.
organizations that may be helping along with you, with the North Point Block Club, but also our city DPW at
Yes.
times have helped me navigate that as well, and say,
Hmm.
hey, this is where it is. Or sometime they will come out
Yep.
and help some seniors, but we just have to know well in advance
Yep.
if it's if it's a senior situation, and see how we can work that out to help them out.
Yes, that is so true. Yeah, thank you for that reminder. Yeah, so we're excited about next weekend.
Yes.
Yay. All right, so
Like,
we got a few more minutes.
okay.
Just want to ask, we got some great things coming up in the city. If you want to talk about that. But what inspired you to serve the community? Like, what was your inspiration? What
Oh wow.
motivated you to become a part of the city council to run for that? What was your motivation?
It took a minute, and I'm just being honest. It took a minute to figure out, is that where I can serve at to help the city get better?
Mhm.
Because I could sit on my porch all day and say what's wrong. Drink my Kool-Aid and call the lady down the street and say, "Girl, you see that?" But
Yes.
when I actually get up and go and find a way to provide a resource or to help, and it was no better way than to go sit at the table. Now,
Mhm.
did you know what all city council was about? No, no, because people mostly have a misconception of what they think city council, what their job is, and
Mhm.
so it's not for me to dictate anything or repair a road it's actually to create those ordinances to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do in your city. I mentioned earlier, like in
Mhm.
some places, and we actually do have this ordinance. It's just it's hard right now. um, we have to get it out to all our residents, but cutting your grass, if you have a
Mhm.
fire, and like people have garage fires, there's a certain amount of time you're supposed to actually get your garage down. So, but how do we inform people about
Mhm.
that, and how do we work on it? So I figured, how could I connect with people? I've been a recreation, parks and recreation commissioner first.
Wow.
I worked in the school district prior to that.
Wow.
um, so I had experience in working with the city and in the school district, and actually in Highland Park schools I had the
Wow.
ability to be a youth in government. So I was actually a congress person when I was
Wow.
a kid, and we got a chance to spend a whole weekend creating bills, and then some of those bills actually, with that program, actually became real laws in the state of Michigan. But
Wow.
that was a program that Highland Park schools had. And
Mhm.
coming out of that, I learned about being a civil citizen. And so it was like, how can I teach my children, my grandkids, other than to be at the table and be able to also make the change? And sometimes that change takes a little while, Pastor. Um,
Yes.
Pastor Newell. Sometimes it takes, a little while, and we don't realize that. But that's what I wanted to
Mhm.
see. I wanted to make the change for the city in the best way, in a informed way, and also the right way to get it done. And so it just takes a minute. Uh, this was my first term, and so we spent a lot of time in this first term learning and implementing things and providing resources.
Yes. And I know one thing so now I see some of where the motivation is to bring the youth council back because you experienced that and you saw the benefit in it and what impact it can have on our youth, and the city working together with the youth. And so we absolutely support that, and we're excited about, hopefully that being revived in the city of Highland Park. So
I think it will. I
mhm,
had
absolutely.
some people reach out. The fire department had their open house, which was
Mhm.
great and wonderful. I don't know if anybody's seen that on my Facebook page,
Yeah.
but they were out with the youth playing basketball, and they got a
Yes.
chance to see what firemen look like. And so I'm
Mhm.
saying this, I'm going to this point that being here also and bringing a youth council piece in, and also I've had students from middle school all the way to college come in and sit at city council in a trying to get
Mhm.
them active in it. We have got to teach our kids how important it is to become citizens, civil citizens, and become social action, not just hollering and screaming and protesting when something goes wrong. We
Mhm.
got to teach you why it's important, and I think that's missing. Pastor, I know we're almost out of time,
That's
but
okay. We're good.
the what we've lost. So we've been riding on our backs
Yes.
of my grandparents, my great grandparents, and then we never taught them why though. And so
Mm.
now they've left out there, and when we're gone, unfortunately, if we don't do something soon, they're going to be asking that question.
Mhm.
How? Because you get a lot of people, a lot of young people that don't want to vote, and that young people is a range all the way in the 30s. Like
Wow.
like it this doesn't matter. It's not counting, but it does, because you mess around and look up and you can't vote,
Yeah.
you're gonna know why.
Yeah.
Those people fought so hard. And so I think our task now in government and just in family, in church, everywhere, is to start letting us know why it was important in in each culture, but definitely in our own, where they can see us. So if I see a fireman, I see Pastor Brenda being a pastor, and she has a podcast. Look at there. I
Yeah.
see. I know the biggest thing for my grandchildren, and I tell everybody once before, I know I can look at the different aspects from a senior to a kid.
Mm.
And if I want my grandkids to still be here, because everybody gonna move away for something better. They think something better. Then I have to try to help make it better here for them to
Mm.
stay. And so I know by talking to them what they're looking for. And so I think the city has to start listening to what we need in our city so that everybody will stay here.
Yes, yes. So we're certainly looking forward to your future with the city of Highland Park, and we're so grateful for your leadership and your connectivity, your concern, your love for the community. What are some things that we can look forward to in the future? Like, what are some things that you see like coming in the next 5 years, or things that you're working on? Whatever you want to close with tonight. We want
Okay.
everyone to hear your voice and to
Thank you so
hear
much.
your heart.
Ah,
Yeah.
woo. I want us all to, this sounds really maybe even corny. I want us all to love on one another a little bit differently. That doesn't mean you got to come and give me a hug, give me a kiss and all that. But when I say love on us, provide the resources. So one of the things I do, and we got to think not so much in the past or in the present, but what happens 5 years from now when somebody else may have to take care of me or you? How do we provide them with those resources? So one thing I did as a council person was establish community assistance days, not just where the companies like Wayne Metro thought come in and just pass you out a flyer, but they
Right.
actually serviced you. And I chose the churches to bring it into them. And so most of the churches, every church doesn't do it the same way, but it was the opportunity. So my thing was, even if I wasn't here, they could continue forward on how to do that. And so I've seen a lot of the churches continue that way and bringing in DTE. So that was one of the things that I wanted to start, and I started it. And it was to continue. They would want me to come and say, when you gonna do the CAD again? I'm like, no, I want you to do the CAD again. And it was something, and that's how we start sustaining.
Yes.
That's how we start building. We don't just make it for us, and we don't just make it for right now. We make it where it's something that can be continued on. And so also we look forward to solar. We look forward to I know each one of the churches have something coming up, not necessarily on solar, but on sustaining. We have in our community, we have, I always say bass, but I think it might be pronounced a little differently. BASS, and that's with Miss Tanisha Wyndham. Uh, and they are providing like things like the I'm losing my train of thought. The bucket that goes by the side of your house in the rain
Yeah, the
barrel.
rain barrels. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so that's coming up. They're talking about, they're teaching children about planting and growing, teaching them how to survive. So those are some things that the city are doing, and they're partnering with those partnerships to show about urban gardening. What else is
Mhm.
coming? Look for housing.
Come on.
I don't know when, but look for housing. It's coming, and
Yes.
it's going to be totally different in different places. So that's coming as a piece. We can't really, there's no way to speak specifically on that right now, but that's one thing that's coming to our city as well. And I have been shouting that to the hills from day one, and it is here.
Yes.
And the other thing I would like to see is for us to work together. And when I say that, and that's the piece that has been missing, not just in our community, but in others as well, is that we learn how to work together, collaborate, come together as a group to move
Hmm.
the city forward or move a body forward, however you want to put it. Um, and not just ride. I don't want to just ride your back. I don't want to beat you up. I want us to have different opinions, and but still be able to come together and move the city forward in this
Mhm.
next progress, in these next few years. Because uh, you remember the Jetsons?
Yes.
We thought they were crazy,
Futuristic.
and we thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
We was like, how you gonna have that little lady on the top? How they ain't nobody gonna talk to them? And now what are we doing? FaceTime, talking to people.
Yes.
So
Yes.
got to think about that. Too many cars on the street. We're gonna be in the air. We already
Mm.
electrifying. So we have that too. I'm sorry. I'm gonna leave it
No.
here. Um uh Mr. Shannon, that's another area in our district, District 1, that he is coming up. He should have two electric places where you can charge your car.
Okay.
Also, I have been talking and working with planning on strategic, when I say sustainable planning, what do we need if we have a disaster?
Hmm.
Also, the police department has been part of that in having a place where we would know that there's a command area. If we had a real disaster, what do we need to do? Where are we going to be able to have a central station at? So those are all things that we're working on in the city, and I'm working with them, in thinking and talking about, hey, it's coming. If you haven't seen it, it's coming. It's coming up soon in our planning commission, in our zoning commission, and in our council, and with the administration. So it's all one unit working together.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I'm definitely excited as we wind down the podcast talk show. We look forward to doing it again.
We got to
You
narrow
know,
it down, though.
I know it's so hard. It's so hard to do it. Like I could stay on here to midnight probably with you. You know, the preacher in me is reminded about Nehemiah in the Bible, how he was so distraught. He was just overtaken by the destruction of the area, the wall. It was burned down, and he wanted to see it revitalized. He wanted to see it rebuilt, and he grabbed a team. He got the people together, and they faced opposition. They faced threats. People tried to convince them to come down from the work. However, the people had the mind to work, and I believe that's the direction that we're going in, as we continue to talk about these things, continue to show up in the meetings, continue to work together and push the vision forward. We will see the revitalization of our city. We will see great things happening, and we will see Highland Park being greater than it
Yes.
was. So many people talk about the past, you know, the city of trees, how it was blooming and flourishing back in the day. However, I believe, God, for even greater than what we've experienced years ago. I believe that we can come forward with something even bigger and brighter than what we had in past years. And so we are excited about working together. We definitely are ready, pulling up our sleeves, ready to do our part and more. And so we know that God is going to do great things in our city. So we bless you. We thank you
Thank
and
you.
look forward to great things. Thank you for being on with us tonight,
Yes.
sharing
Don't
your
forget.
heart. This has been an amazing night
Thank you.
and a fun night, informative night. And so
Yes.
we look forward to doing it in the near future. The elections will be coming up in August, right? This
Yes,
August.
they are. Yes, yes. And so that's a big thing too. But don't forget, this weekend, tomorrow, and
Yes,
we're one of maybe two cities that do the Michigan Week Parade.
that's
It's
right. It's tomorrow.
coming up
Yes,
tomorrow. And we
yes,
have a lot of partners in there. Some of the partners from our city, Zeta Phi
yes,
Beta Sorority,
yes,
Amitais, who are working with you in North Point, actually.
yes,
And
yes,
also our one our Yes Say Yes is one of our community partners. We actually have a new community partner that's here that's going to be doing some help volunteering, one property management. So people have come together, and of course, our great alumni who puts it together, Parker Pride.
Yes.
We Parker Pride is not going anywhere.
Come
Okay,
on.
understand that. So Highland Park is still here. And so I'm sorry. I just wanted to remember people
No,
remember
I'm
that.
glad you
That's
mentioned that.
tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Also the
Yes.
food giveaway first thing in the morning. Unfortunately, it's only the first 300, but again, thank you. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's partnering with us and working with us. And most of all, Pastor, thank you for having me on this evening. And I look forward to many more nights or just, other topics that we talk about. I love
Yes.
you and I thank you so much, you and your
Yes.
family.
I love you. Thank you. And of course, your family, you already know. And yes, we look forward to the future. We're looking forward to building together, doing great things in our city. And God is going to show up amazingly for us. And so we'll see you this weekend. We'll see you
Yes.
tomorrow.
Yes.
And we'll see you soon. And we thank all of our viewers. It's not too late to share. Hit the share button. We want as many as possible to be able to view this podcast tonight with our beloved
Yes.
Councilwoman Tamiko Manica. And just looking forward to great things in our city. Thank you all so much for your support, for watching tonight, being a part of this. I see all of your comments. We did have a little bit of a technical difficulty tonight, but we managed to get through it. So thank you for your patience. And we're looking forward to great things. God is doing the big in this season. And so it is our
Yes, he
time
is.
now to think
Yes.
big and not
Yes.
small. Amen.
Amen.
Good God. Thank you,
All right.
Councilman. Yes. And we love
Yes.
you all. We bless you. And we look forward to seeing everyone this weekend. Stop by the Harvest Sunday, 9 a.m. Institute hour, 10 a.m. services will start. It's going to be amazing. We're planning some great things this year. One is the sub name to John Hour, in which Councilwoman Manica was so instrumental in helping us get pushed through. And so we'll be meeting about that. Got some great things coming this summer. We'll see everyone Sunday, again, 9 a.m. Institute Hour, 10 a.m. service will start at Christ Harvest Fellowship 16299 John R, the beautiful city of Highland Park, where our beloved, esteemed, great, phenomenal, extraordinary Bishop, Pastor Bishop Lewis E. Evans. We'll see you all soon. God
Yes.
bless you. Thank y'all so much. Amen.
Have a
God bless
great night. All
you.
righty. Bye
Yeah.
bye.